Francine Simone, and today I am here with a YA book hype review of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabah Tahir. Jesus, guys, I love this book. I don't know if you guys are following me on Goodreads, but I really didn't even have much to say while I was reading this book because I was just glued to the pages. It was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So let's just get into the review because I need to start making sense. But this story is totally fantasy and it has a dystopian aspect, whereas it is a world or an empire that rules with fear. Everyone is sad and in despair, and the whole place is like shitty, and it's totalitarian and very militaristic. Is that even a word? Now, it follows two characters. One is Laia, and she is from the Scholars, which is a culture that was conquered by the Martells. I don't know how to say this one. I kept reading it as the Marshals. And our other character, Elias, he's actually from the Martell, and he is one of the biggest and baddest bred assassins for this world. They have a crew of people called the Mask, and you don't want to get fucked up with them because they're killers. You know Game of Thrones, the Unsullied? They're like the Unsullied, except for they didn't have their penises chopped off. So let's go ahead and get into this review, and I will rate it based on quality, not just my subjective of whether I like it or not, which I do like it, just so you guys know. But let's get into the quality review. Is it authentic to itself? Is it worth buying? Is it worth spending your money on to see if you will actually enjoy it? So, first, characters. First, we have Leia, and her internal struggle is with courage, and her external struggle is while spying for rebels so that she can save her brother from imprisonment. That's not a spoiler, it's on the blurb. Now, I felt like Leia really stays true to her struggle, which is to gain courage. Now, courage doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen because you do one act of bravery. It actually takes a few acts of bravery to really build up courage, and it takes a long time, and it takes experience, and that's what this book is about for Leia. It's about gaining the courage that she felt like the people before her or the people around her already have, and that she needs to have in order to survive, one, and to two, save her brother, and to three, make up for the fact that she didn't stay to fight for her brother. So she really wants to make up for that, and that's her struggle through this entire story, and that's what we're going to get this whole story, and I thought she stayed true to that 100%. Sometimes it was very difficult. It was hard to see her do things and not act. It was hard to see her take someone else's word for it. It was very hard to see her struggle with it. But it was also very beautiful because if I ever put myself in her shoes or ever think about her position and everything that she's had to face in her current state of mind, it's like I can't see her picking any other options in each part of this book. I thought she was done really well. Really, really well. Let's talk about Elias. His internal struggle is actually hugely tied with the external struggle, and that is he wants to desert from the Empire. He has moral issues with everything that goes on in this Empire. He's actually been bred to be the best killer for this Empire. He's been bred to give his blood, sweat, and tears, and his bones, and his life over to the Empire, and that is the last thing that he wants to do. Yet he keeps getting wrapped up and wrapped up and wrapped up in it, and it's either run away or stay and face it head on and work through it the best that he can, which is extremely difficult because this world is so fucked up. Time and time again, Elias is put into situations where he has to either do something to help someone and in turn jeopardize his own life, or turn away and pretend not to see it. And the thing is that you never really know what he's going to choose. And sometimes he does make choices that are aggravatingly brash. And all I keep thinking is, dude, your life is on the line. Why would you do this? But at the same time, I honestly think that he's a lot braver than at least I am, or many of us out here today, because his life is on the line, and morally he has these huge hang-ups about it. And when you keep yourself in a situation where you are morally against it, but you are doing things that you know you shouldn't do, or know that you don't want to do, or you're staying silent about it, it creates a kind of hopelessness. And when you are faced with hopelessness, you become reckless. When he's been put into a corner, he ends up jeopardizing his own life, even if for these small victories, when really he should be in it for the long game. But it's so hard because, again, that hopelessness, that disgust for the situation that you're in, for your disgust for your silence, all of these other things that build up, it creates that, and we end up doing things that are sometimes reckless. I know that that can drive a lot of people crazy, but I think that is so authentic, especially if you look at the way things happen today. So, as character authenticity goes, I give this a 5 out of 5 because she nailed it. So let's talk about plot. This plot was extremely fast-paced, but I thought it was well-paced. Literally, I was like, oh my god, this never slows down. This is going to give me a heart attack because everything keeps happening. The stakes keep rising. Tahir keeps punching me in the face. And I mean, she does not pull any punches with this storyline. The stakes rise and they rise and they rise. And the characters are just getting broken in each and every little way. And they're forced to take action and they're forced to make decisions. And it is just amazingly beautiful and great because, wow, I felt the entire time like I was like under the magnifying glass. At any moment, somebody's gonna bust in and be like, you're all dead. And I was just like, oh my god. So, is it authentic? Ha. I will have to say that with a story like this, it is all about the journey. It's not necessarily about the revelations or plot twist because it's a hero's journey. It's literally a hero's tale. We're starting with two people who are clearly on their way to do things greater than what they ever thought that they were born to do. So it's going to be about the journey. This is not going to be a 100% original story that we have never seen in the entire creation of man. It is literally two heroes on their journey to save the world as best they can or how they can, and how they fuck up, screw up, and come out victorious in the end. With that said, I would say this is a truly authentic story because she does not pull any punches. She puts these characters in situations that are almost seemingly impossible to get out, but they have to find their own way out. They either overcome something, they either have to use some type of cunning, or they just have to duck and hope that they don't get hit in the head with a knife. Because, I mean, whoa, a lot of crazy shit happens. And this is so hard to do without spoiling anything. This story is like a giant fucking spoiler, I tell you. It's insane. I will say, though, that there was one thing that kind of took away the story, but I think this is completely subjective. Because there's a prophecy, it does add depth to the story and the world in general, but as for the plot, it takes away from the complexity of human choice. And so we end up with characters that seemingly are playing a part of a world instead of in it sometimes. I think that's completely subjective. That's what happens when you have any type of story with a prophecy. I don't really think that there's any way around that, so I can't really dock her for that because I think it's completely subjective. But I could be wrong. Let me know down below if you feel one way or the other. But as far as authenticity and plot goes, I give this a 5 out of 5, guys. I mean, as far as pacing and stakes being risen, it's worth the read. So last, let's talk about world. The Martell Empire. Wow. So Tahir's the kind of writer that pushes you into a world and then tells you to keep up every time you stop to try to remember a character's name. You're reading like, dang, who this bro? I don't remember him. And she'll be like, I ain't got time for that. Don't miss the train. Get on because we're going. And you're just like, okay, I'm on the ride because I don't want to miss this train. She is the kind of writer that holds you down in a chair, opens your eyes, and makes you take witness to all types of brutality. And then she will remind you over and over again that there is nothing you can do about it but sit there and hope you don't get blood splatter on your face. Because of the character point of views, it is really hard to find any kind of plot holes with the world. The only complaints that you can have is that you don't see the world the way that you want to see it, perhaps. Honestly, as far as authenticity goes, every page, every word has some type of world building surrounded by the characters themselves. You're in a very specific place. You don't really get to see the world as a whole. You don't get to see the empire as a whole. Then again, you're following Laia and you're following Elias, and it's what they see, it's what they experience, it's what they know, and that's all you get to see, and it's gloriously beautiful, and it's so well done. She weaves it in with the writing that is so beautiful. It's so blunt and so stark, and if you love that kind of world building, then you're gonna love this. If you like world building that shows you the whole world and then you follow a few characters in this overarching kind of thing, you're probably not gonna like this. But as far as being and following heavily two characters, she does it in a very masterful way. So this right here. Now, the only issue that I do have with this world building is I think on the Goodreads blurb, it mentions how it's very much like ancient Rome, or it's inspired by ancient Rome. And I honestly felt like it wasn't, besides the names and the fact that it's an empire. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. For me, I think this world stands on its own, and they should honestly take that down because it sends either one of two messages. They're either trying to open up the crowd that people, if you like ancient Rome or historical kind of retellings, you'll love this story, which you won't because it's not a historical retelling of any kind. So those people really wouldn't enjoy this book, or at least they're going to feel like they're gypped because That's not what this is. Now, the other message that this sends is that this world needs grounding, and so to say it's, you know, inspired by ancient Rome will help ground people before they even pick up the book, and everything else will be built up on top of that. And I just want to be like, whoever wrote that, did you read this? Because nah, this chick don't need no help. So I really didn't see the need for that, and I thought it was unnecessary, and I would honestly vote that they take that down, because the only reason why you would need to be grounded in this world is so you're not carted off and killed. So let's talk about recommendations. If you love Six of Crows and all its gruesome glory, you're gonna like this, because this book is gruesome as fuck. It's kind of crazy. There's lots of brutality in it. I will say there is a lot of mention of rape in this book, and for the most part, it's extremely brutal, but it's part of the world. You kind of understand it. It's very barbaric. You're supposed to be grossed out by it. You're supposed to be upset by it. If you're fine with stuff like that and you just take it as it is, as world building, then go ahead and give it a read. For those of you who love triangles that are really well done, I think you will love this book. There's like a love square in here. There are triangles galore. Also, if you can tell the difference and appreciate the difference between insta attraction and insta love, I think you'll like this. I would say the love triangle that goes on with Elias. His is one with a character that you see a lot. And this is really one of the first books where I was like, damn, I don't even know who I want to end up with who. And I'm never like that. Usually I'm just like, whatever, just pick somebody and go on. But this book had me like, well, damn. Well, damn. Also, people who like dystopian books, it does have that whole total despair, everything sucks, and we're all getting murdered just because we're people kind of feel to it. But it is fantasy, and it does have mythological creatures in it, so it's the best of both worlds. People I would not recommend this book to. If you are triggered by violence, especially graphic sexual violence or hints of sexual assault or anything like that, if just talking about it bothers you, I honestly would never pick up this book. If the idea of it bothers you, don't touch this book. People who don't like romance or who like very straightforward romance, meaning no love triangles or anything like that, I wouldn't pick up this book because, like I said, there are two main characters and they both have a love triangle going on, so that's really gonna bother you. Also, I would not recommend this to people who are looking for something 100% original. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend most of fantasy or dystopian novels if you like something that's completely original or something that's never been seen by man before. I know I sound really facetious or really funny, but again, it's a hero's quest. Most hero quests have the same type of tropes. They have the same type of ideas. They have the same type of villains and heroes, because it's like saying, I want to read a pregnancy book that's not about babies. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. Next week, I will be reading The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. Also, just to let you guys know, I am going to be doing a poll sometime soon, and it's going to be between Half Bad and A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I don't know which one I'm excited for, because I don't know that much about this one, and I know a little too much about Maas's writing, so I don't know. But look out for the poll on Twitter, yeah? So of course, before I go, don't forget the giveaway. It's coming to a close soon, and so 3 winners will be randomly selected. Yay! And there's also going to be something that I'm giving away to 65 other people, so stay on the line for that, right? I know I keep bringing it up, and you probably are like, bitch, just do it already. But it will happen, I think, at the end of next week. Next week is the last week of July, maybe, I don't know. So it's coming soon. So as always, have a good day. I'll talk to you guys later, and TTYL to talk for now. Bye!